James seethed with frustration, feeling an overwhelming urge to scream. He knew it would be futile, though. The incompetence of his thugs, who were supposed to restrain Ekene during the interrogation, left him irate. He paced around the room, his actions a stark contrast to his composed demeanor when he had entered earlier. The other 4 men watched in silence, aware of the storm brewing within James. Walking back and forth, he battled his inner turmoil. He tried to convince himself to stay calm, repeating whispered assurances. Yet, deep down, he sensed his control slipping away. With a swift movement, he retrieved a gun from one of the thugs' pockets. In a matter of seconds, 2 of the men who had struggled with Ekene lay lifeless, their bodies surrounded by pools of blood. The deafening sound of the gunshots hung in the air. The remaining 2 thugs flinched, apprehension etched on their faces. James's expression shifted from anger to a mournful heaviness as he surveyed the grim scene. He returned the gun to its owner, his demeanor weary. He urged the others to search the premises, hoping to find a clue that would lead them to their targets. The 2 remaining thugs combed through the house meticulously. One of them discovered a scrap of paper next to a cell phone. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a receipt. Rushing back into the room where James stood restlessly, the thug presented the find. James took the paper, quickly scanning its contents. It was a receipt from National Hospital in Central Area, dated the previous day. A faint smile appeared on his face. He motioned to leave, leading the way with the 2 other men trailing behind. James had a troubling history as a psychiatric patient in a Lagos hospital due to severe anger issues that yielded grim consequences. This was attributed to his tumultuous upbringing under extremely affluent parents. Being the youngest among 5 siblings, his mother favored him over the others. During childhood, James's disruptive tantrums were indulged, meeting his desires swiftly. He would wreak havoc until his demands were met, and his parents failed to curb this behavior. Consequently, he disrespected his elders and bullied his peers. Leveraging his parents' money, he gained respect from seniors and tormented the weaker ones with impunity. Growing up, his resentment toward the less privileged festered, manifesting in violent acts against those he disliked. He used any available object to assault victims, and his parents always intervened through their influence when these victims' guardians sought retaliation. As time passed, his violent tendencies escalated, leading to an accidental fatal assault at 22. Over the next 5 years, James claimed 6 lives. 4 deaths went unnoticed, while 2 attracted legal attention. Yet his parents deployed substantial resources to paint these cases as acts of self-defense. At 27, he murdered his girlfriend in a fit of rage. A skilled attorney secured an insanity plea, sparing him prison time. 4 years of confinement in a mental institution followed his trial. Upon his release, his father had passed away, and the family's wealth dwindled. To maintain his previous opulent lifestyle, James liquidated inherited properties and entered the drug trade, prompting his relocation from Lagos to Abuja for less competition. This proved a wise move, as he swiftly ascended to the position of the most respected drug lord within a year. His ruthlessness bolstered his authority, making him a revered figure among his peers. Swift and severe retribution awaited employees who erred, reinforcing his no-nonsense image. Some law enforcement officials were on his payroll, ensuring his evasion of legal consequences. His henchmen operated with confidence, trusting his influence to shield them. James possessed striking looks and an affinity for one-night stands with unfamiliar women. This prompted his constant presence on various dating platforms during leisure. He detested repeat encounters, treating women either kindly or cruelly based on his mood. Always impeccably dressed, he effortlessly attracted any woman he desired. His latest conquest was Linda, whom he lured from Uyo to Abuja with his charismatic charm. Anticipating an enjoyable time due to the distance, he hadn't accounted for his foul mood, exacerbated by Bola's actions and Ekene's interference. With Linda's impending arrival, James aimed to resolve matters with the two friends who had presumably defrauded him before her arrival. He planned a gruesome fate for them, determined that no one outwitted him. He hurried home to prepare and gather his cohorts for the pursuit of his current adversaries, fueled by an unquenchable thirst for dominance. After leaving Nana's lifeless body beneath the flyover, Clifford returned to her house. The sadistic act of molesting and ending her existence had brought some twisted satisfaction, yet he sensed Ghaoul's growing anger, exacerbated by the entire incident. Back at home, Ghaoul's fury erupted. Clifford was forced to obliterate every trace of property within the house. Ghaoul's unrelenting rage was so intense that it nearly drove him to burn down the entire structure. Consuming a pot of leftover porridge from the previous day, Clifford attempted to find solace in sleep after a night of torturing Nana. Ghaoul's inner turmoil was evident as he questioned his eternal existence. The desire to return to the spiritual realm and acquire the elusive medallion consumed him. The enigmatic writer, responsible for their predicament, seemed impossible to find. Clifford empathized with his possessor's plight, fearing the day Ghaoul's power might wane completely. Despite his frustration, Ghaoul understood that locating the writer was paramount. Unlike Clifford's discovery, Ghaoul struggled to comprehend how to pinpoint the medallion's location. The writer's control over their fate irked him. He vowed to seize the writer, alter his destiny, and then consign him to eternal servitude. However, Ghaoul's inability to locate the writer was exasperating. He pondered why he couldn't sense the writer's spiritual energy. Determined to meditate and focus, Ghaoul needed a tranquil environment, but the cacophony from a neighboring house thwarted his efforts. Clifford recognized Ghaoul's need for silence, disrupted by the neighborhood's noise. To alleviate the disturbance, he contemplated silencing the source, the inhabitants. The thought materialized as an imperative solution. Without hesitation, he exited the building and forcefully entered the adjacent dwelling. Inside, a young man in his mid-20s confronted Clifford, demanding to know his intentions. Ignoring the blaring stereo, Clifford's eyes emitted an eerie darkness. Acting swiftly, he seized the man by the neck, suspended him in the air, and hurled him against the wall. The man's futile struggle ended in a brutal, bloody lump against the wall. A naked woman on the bed watched the macabre scene unfold before fainting in terror. Returning to Nana's apartment, Clifford still felt Ghaoul's rage, now ignited by the distant noise of nursery school students. Fueled by Ghaoul's determination, Clifford prepared to embark on another blood-soaked mission, this time targeting everyone in the school. Ghaoul's need for concentration, even at the cost of innocent lives, would drive this sinister pursuit.